I just jumped into it as though it were an improvisation. I really didn't feel that character was anything like me.
He was television's most beloved army surgeon, the wise-cracking, compassionate heart of one of TV's greatest shows. But behind Alan Alda's brilliant portrayal of Hawkeye Pierce lay a man fighting constant battles, not just against the horrors of war depicted on screen, but against the very network and creative forces that made MASH possible. For 11 seasons, MASH wasn't just entertainment, it was a cultural phenomenon. But Alan Alda's journey wasn't the smooth ride fans might imagine. Behind the cameras, he waged wars against network executives, fought for artistic integrity, and struggled with creative decisions that he believed betrayed the show's core message. And today, we're revealing the 5 things Alan Alda truly hated about making MASH, and why his battles were just as important as the ones fought in the 4077. The laugh track battle, fighting for authenticity. Perhaps no issue caused Alan Alda more frustration than the network's insistence on using a laugh track. For a show that dealt with the brutal realities of war, death, and human suffering, Alda found the artificial laughter not just inappropriate, but insulting. "We didn't want to have people laughing at people who were in pain," Alda explained. The laugh track represented everything he despised about television's tendency to underestimate viewers' intelligence. CBS executives insisted that audiences wouldn't understand it was a comedy without the canned laughter. Alda, along with creator Larry Gelbart, fought relentlessly against this mandate. "Our battles with the network were mainly over the laugh track," Gelbart said. "They were saying the American public is too stupid to know when something is funny." The compromise they reached, no laugh track during operating room scenes, was a small victory. But Alda continued fighting against it throughout the series. When MASH aired internationally, particularly on the BBC, the laugh track was often removed entirely, demonstrating how much more powerful the show could be without artificial prompting. For Alda, every canned laugh was a reminder of the network's lack of faith in both the material and the audience's sophistication. The character trap, Hawkeye's limiting legacy. As MASH evolved, so did Alda's vision for Hawkeye, but he increasingly found himself constrained by audience expectations. Early seasons portrayed Hawkeye as a lovable rogue, a womanizing, rule-breaking surgeon whose irreverence masked deeper humanity. As Alda took more creative control, he wanted to explore different facets of Hawkeye's personality, more vulnerability, more consequences, deeper exploration of war's effects. But this evolution sometimes conflicted with fan expectations. "I was always looking for ways to show his vulnerability, not just his wit," Alda explained. The challenge was balancing established traits with the growth a long-running series demanded. This tension became apparent in later seasons, where Hawkeye became more introspective and darker. The series finale showed a Hawkeye dealing with serious psychological trauma, far from the wise-cracking surgeon of early episodes. For Alda, the limitation wasn't just creative, it was personal. After over a decade playing the same character, he worried about being typecast. The success that made MASH a phenomenon also created a prison of expectations that would follow him for decades. Network interference, the pressure to stay light. The laugh track was just one symptom of a larger problem: constant network pressure to keep the show light and avoid darker themes. CBS executives were nervous about episodes that pushed boundaries, preferring straightforward comedy over the complex blend of humor and tragedy. Episodes like Abyssinia Henry, where beloved character Henry Blake dies, faced significant network resistance. Experimental episodes like The Interview were met with skepticism from executives who preferred conventional sitcom structures. Alda, who increasingly took on writing and directing responsibilities, found himself constantly fighting for the show's artistic integrity. He believed comedy and tragedy weren't mutually exclusive, that humor made serious moments more bearable, while serious moments gave weight to the comedy. The more serious we got, the funnier the comedy had to be to make that bearable, Alda explained. The network wanted more gags and less stark reality, which felt like a betrayal of the show's deeper purpose. The relentless grind, 11 years of exhaustion. While fans saw polished episodes, Alan Alda lived through the grueling reality of producing a hit series for over a decade. The relentless schedule, combined with his roles as actor, writer, and director, created exhaustion that took a serious toll. Alda wasn't just memorizing lines, he was shaping the show's narrative, writing scripts, and directing episodes. This meant longer days and greater responsibility. The commute between his East Coast home and Los Angeles production facilities added another layer of stress. But perhaps more challenging was the pressure to keep the show fresh after so many years. How do you find new dimensions to a character you've played for over a decade? It's hard to keep it fresh. You have to dig deeper, Alda reflected. The constant need to innovate while maintaining the show's core identity was both creatively fulfilling and emotionally draining. For someone as committed to quality as Alda, the fear of the show becoming routine was a constant source of anxiety. Every script carried the weight of the show's legacy and his own artistic standards. The weight of war, living in darkness daily. What many viewers didn't appreciate was the emotional toll of spending 11 years immersed in the world of war, even fictional. For Alda, whose empathetic nature was well known, the daily confrontation with themes of death and suffering became a heavy burden. MASH never shied away from showing war's human cost. Episodes regularly featured wounded soldiers, death, and psychological trauma. While humor made these themes palatable, the actors had to emotionally inhabit this world daily. War is hell, but sometimes comedy is the only way to make hell bearable, Alda observed. But making that hell bearable for audiences meant living in it, finding truth in war's pain and absurdity. Could any actor sustain that emotional investment for over a decade without personal toll? For Alda, the answer was clearly no. The constant immersion in themes of mortality and suffering affected him deeply, contributing to the exhaustion of his MASH experience. Was it worth sacrificing his own emotional well-being to bring authenticity to millions of viewers who needed to understand war's true cost? The complex legacy of a television icon. Alan Alda's complicated relationship with MASH reveals the complex reality behind one of television's greatest achievements. His hatred of certain aspects wasn't born from ingratitude. It came from deep commitment to excellence that sometimes conflicted with commercial television realities. The battles he fought against laugh tracks, network interference, creative limitations, and grinding demands were ultimately battles for the show's soul. His willingness to fight, even when it made him difficult, helped ensure MASH became more than just another sitcom. Today, MASH is remembered as a cultural touchstone that changed how television could address serious subjects. The show's ability to blend comedy and drama, finding humor in darkness while never minimizing suffering's reality, owes much to Alda's uncompromising vision. Despite all frustrations and battles, Alda has consistently expressed gratitude for the opportunity MASH provided. The show gave him a platform to explore important themes, grow as an artist, and reach millions with stories that mattered. The things Alan Alda hated about MASH were often the very obstacles that pushed him to make the show better. His struggles weren't just about artistic vision. They were about the ongoing battle between commerce and art that defines television history.